Hi, this is Julia M. Spencer. I'm a real estate advisor, investor, and your #1 source for real estate advice online. Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas, where I am today. I am here specifically for a tax deed auction, which is happening tomorrow. Now, as you know, and maybe you've heard from my previous videos, Nevada is a tax deed state, and today we were driving around all day, and I'm positively exhausted. I've actually made some videos on some of the houses that we've looked at, which I'm going to add to the end of this video so you can see. I actually took one of my students with me this time, and just to kind of give her the first-hand look on how I research properties and what I look for and what's important to see. So you're going to see a little bit of that footage. She was not impressed with the houses. But I see houses like that all the time, and I can see the potential in houses and making money with them, so it was a learning experience. But anyways, before I forget, don't forget to go to my website here at the bottom of this video, juliamspencer.com. The M stands for money. Subscribe there today, download my newsletter. I send out coupons, valuable coupons, and also some offers sometimes, and also information about the things that I do, some of the properties that I buy, and some of the things that I do with tax sale foreclosure investing, which is one of my favorite topics, obviously. And I also have a book published on tax sale foreclosure investing, working on book #2 on that same topic, which will also be available on that website. You can download it today, listen to it anytime you want on any of your listening devices. And let's talk a little bit about Nevada. So I'm actually staying in this really cool hotel. It's called the SLS Portfolio Las Vegas Hotel. I guess it used to be the Old Sahara Hotel. It's really cool, and I'm actually, let me just pan around a little bit. I have a really cool view. It's amazing. Right next to that big Stratosphere building. So, so we're here today looking at properties. So the list of properties was actually available online about a month ago. I didn't really spend that much time researching anything in much detail a month ago, primarily because I wasn't here, first off, and second off, because a lot of the properties actually pay off at the last minute. So if you do all your research early, then you potentially waste a lot of time driving to them and looking at them, and it's just useless. So I kind of focused the last week really on the research, so that's what we did today. And then we kind of pared the list down a little bit, because you've got to separate the properties that are actually of value. There's a lot of properties that were auctioned off that were that used to have buildings on them. The buildings since have been removed, but while the building was still there, there was a lot of taxes that were outstanding and owed. And so the tax bill just kind of accumulated over the years and just racked itself up. And then for some reason the building burnt down, or it got removed or whatever, and no more building there, and now you just have a lot, and the lot is worth a lot less than the land, and with the building on it, the building now being gone. And of course the taxing authorities is auctioning the property off for the whole amount while the building was still there, while there's no more building there. So you basically would be paying 3 times as much as how much value you would get. And let me give you a case in point. There was one property where for the starting bid is like $58,000. When we looked at the building and the property, and there was a kind of like a difference between what all the different websites said, so that's why I said it's always very important to go to tax sale auctions and put your eyes on the properties. Even if you don't do it personally, get somebody to do it with you, so so you can see whether there's actually really a building on there. And with this particular auction, I think it was like 4 or 5, there was no longer a building on the property, and I verified this by driving there and by looking at it. So right there, the value of that piece of real estate was already cut like in half or 2/3. Yet the taxing authority still wants to collect the big tax bill that's due. So you would be purchasing a $10,000 lot for $50,000. That's useless. It's a waste of money, and it's bad investment, obviously. But if you're not knowledgeable about these things and what you're looking at, and you're not looking at the properties, and you can't really find them, you could be driven into that kind of purchase, and it's a really bad purchase, obviously bad investment. We did find a condo. Condo is actually valued, it's in one of the big hotels here on the Strip, and it's a small little 500 square foot studio apartment condo, valued at about $180,000. I verified that because I actually know somebody that lives there, and not in that condo but in that particular building complex, and knows the purchase prices and values and listing values of those properties. So that condo is starting off at $14,000. So $180,000 condo is going for $14,000 starting big tomorrow. Obviously there's probably going to be some competition, and with that particular condo, because it's a condo, we actually drove to the courthouse and verified that there was no other liens, and we ran into some other investors, and at first of course I thought they are you know, much more knowledgeable than I am, and I kind of felt intimidated, as I do. Believe it or not, I do get very intimidated. And I started talking to them, and it turns out they had a lot of questions, didn't know the answers, kept asking me, and turns out I was the expert. So you know, I gave them my card. They are contacting me, sending me messages, so it's good. It's good when people collaborate. I think I personally go into these auctions not to bid against anybody, and I actually don't. And I have to tell you another story about that here in a minute, because I was actually at an auction 2 days ago, just yesterday, and there was a bidding war going on. But I don't go into the auctions to bid against anybody. I don't bid somebody's price up. When I realize that somebody really, really wants a property and I'm kind of interested in it, I usually just let them have it. You know, there's other fish, more fish to fry. My assistant was standing next to me. She said, "Oh, there's better fish to fry," because he was getting upset with me. Over $100. Anyway, different story. I'll tell you that story in my next video. But I believe personally, when you go to these auctions, don't go there with like a closed mind and shutters. Talk to the other investors, talk to them, find out what their aim is. It could very well be that their strategy is completely different from what you're aiming to do with your investment portfolio. So you can you don't have to, instead of bidding against them, being against them, kind of talk to them and see if they have maybe some information that could be useful to you. When you're not in direct competition with them, you can collaborate with them and communicate with them, and you can learn stuff. So we met several people. I also made a phone call to a couple of realtors, one of which called me back, actually just one, and he has actually a small real estate investment firm and goes to these auctions all the time also, or one of his people. So we're going to go meet with that person as well tomorrow and chat with him, and he's going to show me around some of the properties that he's purchased at these auctions and rehabbed, and how much money he's made with them. So I am very, very much for collaborating and talking to other investors, to other people that go to these auctions, to learn from them, and to talk to the county officials, really just anybody that wants anything to do with this process, because that's how you can learn the best. And maybe at this sale we won't find anything that strikes our fancy that we want to buy, or that I want to personally buy, but invaluable information that you can learn at these auctions just by going to them if you have the time. And of course, hours and hours of driving around looking at properties and learning how to read property cards, how to read the GIS land maps that are out there, to read map numbers and the boundaries of a particular lot if you're looking at pieces of land, how to read the commonly available websites out there, Zillow, Trulia, how to read property cards themselves, and of course going to the courthouse directly, which we did, and pulling up any and all records at the courthouse on any particular property to find the history of the property and kind of like where it started and how it proceeded and how it progressed to the point that it is now at the tax sale. One last thing of wisdom: the state of Nevada, when you purchase a property at a tax sale, you are not responsible for the mortgage afterwards, even though if there is a mortgage. The particular property I'm looking at, the condo has a mortgage on it. did not see where that mortgage has been satisfied, so it is an outstanding mortgage still. However, when I purchase that property tomorrow at the tax sale, that mortgage will be extinguished. It's very well possible that the mortgage company will try to bid on that property. That is always a possibility. So we'll see. We'll see how many people are there, and I will report on that. Unfortunately, we're not able to bring recording devices into the auction. I'll try to make a video in front of the courthouse and talk a little bit about where it is and what we're expecting, what we're doing. But I can't take any videos inside, so otherwise I'll be asked to leave before it even starts. So, you know, the cool thing is I was able to line up an investor that might be potentially interested in going into this deal. My aim with all of this is, obviously I don't want to buy this condo, it's not my thing. Also, I don't have the money, so you know, if I can find somebody like that a deal, as long as they can recommend me and my website and promote my videos, my audiobooks, that's really what I want. And I do obviously already bought a property yesterday already, so I'm good for this month. I'm good to go. So anyways, it is now I think 7 p.m. or something, and I'm positively exhausted. Today was a very busy day with very little sleep, but I have the most gorgeous view of the mountains and Las Vegas here in front of me. And I'm going to add this little section of the video where we looked at one of the houses that you can see. The video was recorded by my student, actually, the lady that I took with me on this research project today. And so we walked around the property, and then we asked the neighbor if we could poke around. The neighbor said it's wide open, I guess you can go in. The police was called on us because the police showed up as soon as we were leaving the area. And I expect the police to call us because we, like I said, we don't belong in the area. We're driving an out-of-state plate vehicle, and we're poking around houses, taking pictures. And we were not the first ones that day, actually. The neighbors told us there were several investors that came by. So, so yeah, you know, we then were able to have a little chat with the police officer and asked him if it was a good neighborhood, if there was a lot of crime. He, not being a realtor, can tell us, of course, about the crime rates, and he said it was, you know, not that great of an area, very obviously. And anyways, I'll show you that video at the end of this, and don't forget to subscribe on my website, juliamspencer.com, and purchase my audiobooks if you think you want to get into tax sale foreclosure investing, because I am the expert on that. Have a great day. Hey doggies, I'm going to enter and trespass. Actually, it's not that bad. Hello, hello, anybody home? Woo-hoo! Is your car locked?
Yes.
Just make sure your car's locked. Hello? Hello? Woohoo! It's been baking for a while. Okay. Actually, it's not that bad. It's got, I mean, a little bit of that right there. You can take a video of my rooms if you want.
We're rolling.
I mean, this is what I expect to see, quite honestly. Yeah, it's been baking for quite some time. Several years. So, and the neighbor actually said, is this a good neighborhood? Her answer was, I stay in my house, I don't know. So, but we have 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, 1, 2 bathrooms. No dead bodies.
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign. I don't smell anything. Okay. And we have a water heater or something. That's the furnace thing. Actually, what is this? I'm afraid to open it.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.